Welcome to Stories for Better English. Today you will hear a short story in clear, natural English. It includes several common idioms. Do not translate them word by word. Instead, listen for meaning through the situation.
It was my first day at a new job. I arrived early, checked the address 3 times, and still worried I was in the wrong building. When I finally sat down at my desk, my hands felt cold, even though the room was warm. I told myself, "Relax. This is normal. Just take it, step by step." A coworker named Maya walked over and introduced herself. She smiled like we were already on the same team. Maya said,
First days can feel awkward. Let's grab coffee and break the ice.
I laughed politely, but inside I paused. Break the ice. There was no ice. There was only coffee. But then Maya asked a simple question.
What brought you to this job?
I answered. She listened. I asked her a question back. Within 2 minutes, the tension in my shoulders dropped. The conversation became easy. Later that morning, there was a quick team meeting. I checked my calendar again, but I still arrived a few minutes late. When I sat down, the manager was already assigning tasks. I wanted to volunteer for something interesting, but the moment passed. Maya leaned over and whispered,
If you want that project, speak up soon. Don't miss the boat.
Again, my brain pictured something literal, a boat leaving a dock. But I understood the feeling immediately. The boat was the opportunity, and it was moving. That night, I opened my laptop and looked through the company tools and training notes. There was a lot to learn. I wanted to feel confident before the next day. I texted Maya a question, and she replied,
You've got this. Just hit the books for an hour and you'll feel better tomorrow.
Hit the books. No one was actually hitting anything. It simply meant study seriously. So I did. I reviewed the basics, practiced the steps, and made a short checklist for myself. On the second day, the manager asked me to present a short update to the team. It was only 2 minutes, but my stomach tightened. As I stood outside the meeting room, I suddenly wanted to disappear. Maya noticed my face and said,
Are you getting cold feet?
That phrase matched my body perfectly. My confidence was slipping and fear was taking its place. I took a breath and reminded myself, 2 minutes is not a lifetime. I walked in anyway. By the end of the week, I made a mistake on a small task. It was not a disaster, but it felt personal. For a moment, I thought, maybe I'm not ready for this job. Maya looked at my screen and said,
Don't throw in the towel. Everyone struggles at the start.
I knew what she meant without needing a dictionary. Throwing in the towel meant quitting, and I was not going to quit. I fixed the mistake, wrote down what I learned, and kept going.
Now, let's reflect briefly. Idioms feel confusing because the words do not create the meaning in a direct way. If you translate each word, the phrase may sound illogical. But in the story, each idiom was understandable because the situation gave you the meaning. Break the ice. The conversation became easier. Miss the boat. An opportunity almost passed. Hit the books. Study seriously. Get cold feet. Feel nervous and lose confidence. Throw in the towel. Quit or give up. In other words, idioms behave like single units of meaning. Context is what makes them clear. Here is the most effective strategy for many learners. Learn idioms through stories, not through isolated lists. Stories provide 3 things that memorization often lacks. First, they provide a situation, so the meaning is easier to infer. Second, they provide emotion, which improves memory. Third, they provide natural repetition, which supports long-term learning. If you want to learn idioms faster, choose a short story. Listen once for general meaning, listen again for the expressions, and then practice using one idiom in one sentence of your own. In future episodes, you will hear more short stories like this one: clear English, natural rhythm, and practical expressions used in context. If this story helped you, watch the next episode and listen for the idioms before we explain them.